There's eyes looking down on me that goes, really? Him? That guy with the X's on his nipples? Doesn't matter how hard you work, some people just think you're funny. It doesn't matter what you've achieved, some people will just think you're funny, and it doesn't matter about the hours you put in behind closed doors. You've got to believe in yourself. Absolutely you do, because if you don't, none of the fans are going to. If you don't, your opponent's not going to. And if you don't, then why are you standing out there in shiny pants if you don't believe yourself?
Welcome back to Grapple Theory. Thanks so much for joining us once again. And this week, we are joined by the damn dirty dog himself, Gene Munny. Gene, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing?
Oh, Grapple Theory, it is just fantastic to be back. I'm doing great. I mean, I'm not. The heat is horrendous. Have you seen my hair color? It is too warm for a dog like me. But no, happy to be here on this very warm day.
Yes, very warm indeed. Yeah, I've got the fan on just gently to the side, so it's not loud enough, so it's not really doing anything. But I like to think it's like the placebo effect, that it might be doing something.
Yeah, those, tell you what, Argos and B&Q are having their absolute field day this week, aren't they, Joyce?
They love it, don't they? Oh.
Well, let's go get that fan down from the loft that'll just push the hot air about and make us feel like we're getting cooler, but are we? But yes, we welcome to summer. It's Northful-mania time.
It is. It very much is. And that's obviously a big part of why you're here, building to what's going to be a huge show for North Wrestling in July at the Walker Dome again. Third year in a row. I mean, first of all, let's talk about before we get into North, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the year for Gene Munny, because that's how we normally start the podcast, asking our guests how the last sort of 12 months has been. So going back to last summer, it feels like there's been a lot of change for you in the ring in terms of a few pushes here and there, doing like a lot more, being seen a lot more, and getting to do a lot more different stuff as well.
Yeah, I think change is key in wrestling. I think, yeah, I don't want to be someone who I get bored of. Like, and I'm me, and I have to see me constantly wrestle. And I just feel like Gene Munny needs to grow. Gene Munny needs to evolve, and I can't just be the same dog I always have been. So, you learn, you push forward, you grow, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of cool stuff over the last 12 months. Some stuff I'm really happy with. And yeah, it's been a good year.
Yeah, which is great, and I love that for you as well. I think like it's great to see that, like, for yourself. I don't know how it feels for you, but like as a fan watching you, it feels like there's still so much evolution for you as Gene Munny, like to go that like we haven't seen before, which is incredible considering like how long you've been around.
Oh, you're absolutely flatter me. I feel like it's a compliment sandwich too, and we're just about to get the slice of, but here's what you need to improve. No, I do appreciate that, and it is great to kind of have that kind of vibe. Some people still don't know what Gene Munny is, and it's my time to show them exactly who and what I can be. The world's changed for me behind the scenes, and I kind of want to show that to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you say the world, or parts of the world at least, haven't seen maybe who Gene Munny is, or people don't know who Gene Munny is. I think leading beautifully into a segue, it's fair to say that maybe the two Slaters at North haven't or don't fully understand who Gene Munny is, and maybe aren't ready for what's coming for them at the Walker Dome in July.
Well, that's it. In Newcastle's equivalent of the Tokyo Dome in July, yeah, you're right. It's the damn dirty dog versus Liam Slater versus Leon Slater for the North Championship. And like, I'd be daft not to acknowledge that all of us in some capacity know each other through Pursuit Pro Wrestling, one of the greatest wrestling schools I've ever had the opportunity to be a part of up in Sheffield. In creating insane talent there, and Leon Slater being evident of that. These are two men I know very well, and these are two people who, fortunately, don't know the side of me I'm bringing on July 12th.
I was going to say that's the advantage for you going in, because I know obviously it's billed as with like all the like social media promos and stuff have you as the underdog, but like that's the advantage, is that people think you're the underdog. The advantage is that they don't really know what you're prepared to bring to get the title in this match.
Well, this is it. This is the change. I mean, like, people still see me as an underdog, but I beat Miles Kamen at the last show. I beat Liam Slater at the show before. I beat Liam and Leon in a tag match the show before. And you throw a few shows back, I got a 3 count over Leon Slater. If it hadn't been for Liam, then, you know, I still walk into this match as an underdog with people doubting me. And yet, well, you know, I've got a good track record of pinning both of their mats to the floor for 3 seconds or longer.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, the underdog thing, how does that feel for you? Because it feels like there are a couple of people, I guess, Brit Rest-wise, that I associate with, like, sort of being the perennial underdog, that, like, no matter what match they're in, you're always like, they're the ones fighting from beneath. But, like, how does that feel for you, like, for, like, fans, I guess, having that perception? Because I guess, like we've said, it can be a positive and a negative.
Yeah, I'm a daft lad at heart. I always have been. I always will be. I'm someone who likes having fun. I'm someone who likes, you know, bringing the audience on that kind of fun journey with me. And that's what I love about wrestling. And, you know, sometimes people don't see that as main event stuff. And so, you know, there's eyes looking down on me that goes, really? Him? That guy with the X's on his nipples? And I get that. I completely get that. But it is nice. You get that psychological edge when you walk into a match like this where, you know, is it just a dream that Gene's going to win this, or can he actually do it? And I think I've proved myself time after time that I can go with the best. And let's face it, the Slaters are the best. Liam is the most underutilized, hottest talent in this country. And Leon is a future WrestleMania main eventer, let's face it. He's the future of this business.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know, where'd you put a name like G-Money in there? And, you know, Saturday, 12th of July, we're going to find out.
I was going to say, like, in terms of, it's something that a few wrestlers that I've spoken to have mentioned before as well. But in terms of how you come through, how you've sort of gone about your career, again, almost like usually being the underdog, usually being seen as, like, you know, the comedy wrestler, I guess. Like, is there a, I guess that more like chip on your shoulder to prove that, like, because again, I feel like comedy wrestling gets a bad rap in a lot of spaces, you know, where people like can put you in a corner and be like, that's what you do. But
yeah, that can happen. People can, you know, bring me into a promotion and be like, hey, be funny. And you're like, okay, if that's what you want, then, you know, shits and giggles it is. But yeah, I've got a full family-sized pack of McCain on my shoulder. It's ridiculous because, again, it's one of these things. Doesn't matter how hard you work. Some people just think you're funny. It doesn't matter what you've achieved. Some people will just think you're funny, and it doesn't matter about the hours you put in behind closed doors that those people don't see. You're funny. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Well, most swords are double-edged, apart from samurai swords. But yeah, it's one of the things where North wrestling. Let's put it this way. I over the past year since last Thunderstruck, I've been able to have banging matches with Yoshiki Inamura, beat him with a lariat. Shreddy beat him with a lariat. Leon would have beat him with a lariat. One called Manders beat him with a lariat. Liam Slater beat him with a lariat. Miles came and beat him with a lariat. There are fantastic talents, world-class talents you see all over the globe right now and for the right reasons. And I've stood toe-to-toe with them. I've proven I can go with them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do again at Thunderstruck.
yeah, exactly. Like you say, like that list of names is crazy. That list of names you just showed off.
That's an 10, man. This is ridiculous. I just said it out loud, and I was like, "Oh man, that's nuts."
I was going to say, you look at those names you pinned and what those names have done in the last year.
Yeah,
That's mental. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is why I think again is your advantage going into this match, and I guess almost throughout your career is the fact that people seem to forget that. You know what I mean? You can you get all these huge wins, and people are like, yeah, it's G-Money. Like again, like he's a damn dirty dog, but like again, that chip on your shoulder, like, am I a title contender? Like, can he be a title contender? You know?
Well, maybe it's time to, you know, maybe it's time to dig a big hole and bury that, and let's Let's make people know what's cracking. Let
Yeah.
people know who I really am. And you keep saying the odds, maybe it helps with the odds, being that kind of underdog. But Thunderstruck first main event, Protege versus Teacher, Leon Slater versus Liam Slater. One of the best matches I've ever seen live. Leon took the championship from Leon. Amazing moment. Passing the torch. Thunderstruck 2, Leon and Doris, former tag team championships, former partners. Slater, well, it's very difficult to say Slater. Liam Slater helped Leon get that championship, retain that championship. I am the only thing stopping Liam Slater not handing Leon Slater the championship for a third year running. I have got insurmountable weight on my shoulders. I love North. I'm repping this stuff now, and this was by accident. This is a company that has made me feel at home. This is a crowd set. The North Faithful who have made me feel like I'm home. And I absolutely love it. And I feel like I've got a duty to not let that outcome be the third Thunderstruck in the row,
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say as well, like, just anyone who knows you, I think anyone who's seen you in the ring or spoken to you out the ring just knows how confident you come across. You're always so, like, energetic, so up for it, so, like, so much belief in yourself. And I just wonder, again, like, with all the stuff we've been talking about, like, has it always been that way for you? Or has there been, like, for yourself as well, like, coming through again, like, I don't want to keep harping on it, but, like, in terms of, like, the comedy aspect of your style, like, has there have been, like, a time when you thought, like, am I just a comedy wrestler? Did you ever, like, because it feels like you're so confident. I'm just wondering if it's always been that way for you.
No, of course it hasn't. I think after a while, when people see you for what they think you are for so long, maybe sometimes you start to believe it a little bit. And that's where the bitterness sets in, and that's where the grievances and a bit of sets in, and you don't want that. You don't want that. You got to believe in yourself. Absolutely, you do. Because if you don't, none of the fans are going to. If you don't, your opponent's not going to. And if you don't, then why are you standing out there in shiny pants if you don't believe yourself? You could be at home having a Sunday roast instead. Like, confidence is key. You've got to believe in yourself. And that's it. And it took me so long to learn that. And right now, in a industry filled with some of the greatest talent, let's face it, every American who steps foot on British soil at the moment, all they talk about is how good the Brits are, and they are not wrong. Look at the stacked roster just on Thunderstruck alone. You need confidence, or else you can't hold yourself with them, because British wrestling is the best at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It totally is, and you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And again, you mentioned with North as well, like when we see, like, I wanted to come on to that because North does seem like it's become sort of like a second home for Gene Munny. It does seem like that promotion where not only have the promoters like taken you in and shown that like they want to use you and use you well, but also that the fans have really taken to you. Like, how does it feel to be so? I mean, it feels like Gene Munny is loved everywhere. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like there's nowhere that like people don't like you. But like, how does it feel at North in Newcastle? Those vibes every show.
Well, the truth is, none of this was written. Gene Munny at North is an anomaly. So if we jump back to like 2021, like late 2021, I was bald at the time. It was me versus Chris Ridgway in a match at North. Chris, bam, couldn't make it. So what happens? He gets replaced by Lycos 2. I lose, but I'm in a car with Lycos 2 on the way home. It's not awkward because we discussed creating a faction, the Bad Boy Gym Gang. Let's have Gene Munny, a really good boy, hanging about with the bad lads, and we'll see what happens. Our first match as a tag team is against Doris and Visage. Visage can't make it, so Doris gets to choose anybody from the pre-show to have as his teammate. He chooses a PPW trainee by the name of Leon Slater. That match ended up being the first match of boisterous behavior and the first match of the Bad Boy Gym Gang at North. Leon and Doris went to go win that tag team tournament. It was never supposed to happen. Me and the Bad Boy Gym Gang, we went on to go take those tag team championships off them. It was never supposed to happen. Like in Thunderstruck 2, both me and Leon ended up beating our former tag team championship partners at Thunderstruck 2. And the crowd got behind me. The crowd somewhere in there really got behind me. And then with the match with Inamura, they really started to bite. And then the match with Shreddy, they really started to bite. And at this point, they had to put me in the championship picture because the crowd were asking for it. The crowd wanted Gene there. That wasn't written down. And somehow, they've not stopped asking. And so this is my opportunity to go from being, the lad who Thunderstruck 1 was in the scramble match hitting everybody in the nuts to going to the main event of Thunderstruck 3 for a shot at the World Championship against a future Hall of Famer. It is insane.
Yeah.
And I owe so much this to the fans. Because, again, this feels like it hasn't been written on the cards. It's been written in the stars. This has happened because of a series of circumstances. And we're heading to the walkathon because of it.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Like, there are so many people that we've spoken to about, like, oh, like, I'm only where I am because this thing that shouldn't have happened. And it's just crazy how wrestling can work like that. And all of a sudden, the trajectory of your career, like, just flips.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did I get here?
North has been an incredible domino effect. It's been a Rube Goldberg machine that's taken me to a championship match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all because Chris Ridgway couldn't make a show.
It's all because Chris Ridgway couldn't make a show.
Chris, you're watching this. If you see this, this is you. You've done this. All of this. It's incredible. It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like, I mean, it's going to be an amazing moment for yourself as well, I imagine. And like, have you allowed yourself to think about what that feeling could be like? If you
honestly, I'm buzzing. I have done some crazy stuff in my time in the ring. Like, I've been able to wrestle in front of thousands in different countries. I've been able to get huge opportunities that have just been absolutely wild. Like, but this is a moment that I'm never going to forget. Like, regardless of how this show goes, being able to main event Thunderstruck, because North is a company on the rise. North is a company that is going to do things, and to be able to say, I'm the main event in that for the championship, for the opportunity to represent that company, that's cool as shit, man. Like, that's so good. I don't know if I can swear, but that's sweet as. Like, it's going to be an absolute honor to be in there with, again, two people who want to beat me up, two people who are essentially have a father and son dynamic. Yeah, it's going to be an honor to be there.
Yeah. And talk to me, like, even aside from like, cause you mentioned it there, the sort of like the rise of North, because I've said it to a few guys. I think even like when we last had you on, that was probably about like 2.5-3 years ago.
Oh wow, really? That long?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's been a while, and like I think even then that was like it was like the embers of North started. Like it was starting. Something was starting up in Newcastle. And I
think the people in Leeds saw it last month when they made their debut in Leeds. Like, North is a scene that is growing. Yeah. And it's a scene that, it's going to take over the north of England, definitely. And then we'll see from there. And it's just, to be a part of it, that's cool as.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be like, buy your tickets for Thunderstruck 3 now at northwrestling.co.uk. But if you want an opportunity to see what this company is going to do, Thunderstruck 3 is the place to do it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like you don't even need to do that, because you look at North's track record, and it's like, especially over the last like 2 years, it's sellout after sellout after sellout, and like they know how to pack a room. Like they're doing everything right, like you say. Like it feels like, again, they're rising. They become like, again, you have I always say to people, like you have like the big names in Brit wrestling, you like the established big names, like your Red Pros, your Progress, your Eves, and then you have this like second tier of like promotions, and there I'd put like at the minute you North, but like the North are rising, and like TNT and places like that. But it felt like even like a few years ago, North were like a few levels down, and they've just come up so quickly. Like the rise has been phenomenal from being like quite an underground niche promotion to being like easily like one of the biggest in the country.
Yeah, it's been great to be a part of that and great to see, because I've been fortunate enough to work for some of the promotions you've mentioned before, and it is really like interesting to see that kind of inner working of how things are doing and how things are growing. And yeah, man, I don't know what's in the future for North, but I'm hoping to do it as champion. I'll tell you how much.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's what we'd love to see, and that's what we'd love to see. Well, I mean, we've had a lot of good to say, and that leads us on to our first little feature here that you didn't play last time you came on, and I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll get a kick out of this one.
Who are we burying?
That's the thing. Who are we burying? Because this feature is called Dishing the Dirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm going to have you dish some dirt on not just the North locker room, any locker room you've been in. I'm going to give you some questions, and I want you to let me know which wrestler it best applies to.
Let's get cancelled. Let's go.
Here we go. First one is, who's always running late?
Me.
Yeah.
I am dreadful for it. My backward ass brain is rotten for that. Yeah, Simon Miller seems to never be on time. Don't enjoy that, especially on the London shows when I'm doing Progress. I'm supposed to be in a ring with him, and he lives in London, I am to believe, and I'm there before him. Miller, do you know how far I've got to travel? But no, it is traditionally me. Yeah.
I was going to say with Miller, it's that classic case of like, you live around the corner, and so you think you can leave later, and that's why you're always late.
Oh, he's busy being YouTube famous, isn't he?
Yeah.
Polishing his head and typing on his keyboard. I don't know what it is with Miller as well. Progress last year, I jumped him. Well, tried to jump him in October, and then I wrestled him in November. And then I ended up wrestling him in a triple threat in December. And then I managed Will Kroos in February against him. And then I wrestled him in March. And then in the Losers Battle Royal at Strong Style, I ended up wrestling with him then. I want to get away from this man, like running from a zombie apocalypse. I don't know what it is, Miller. I want to get away from you. I hope you're late. I hope you're late again.
Too late, yeah. The kind of late where you can't even get in the building, because that's...
Yeah, God, the dream. But than that, he's lovely.
I was going to say, are you sure? Because that's what I mean. Like, it feels like you guys have had this almost like this sort of like Charlie Evans Kanji kind of thing where you're like just destined to fight forever.
Oh, don't say that. Don't put ideas into people's head. Do you know how many wins I've had out of that? Jesus, I'm trying to big myself up before my big main event. Can't be saying, oh, shall you wrestle Simon Miller again? No, thank you. I have been through that chapter. This is not Kanji. This is not Charlie Evans. This is over and done, Simon. Please, I beg you, leave me alone.
Fair enough. I apologize for bringing it up. And as someone who not only with North, but also is very synonymous with Resurgence, ask you about like the Kanji Charlie Evans thing as I brought it up, just because it was such a like, it felt like such a story thing for Resurgence, such a huge thing to have this story that didn't play out over like a few months, but played out over years.
Yeah. As
someone who, again, he's a regular at Resurgence and who's seen that play out firsthand and been part of it as well in terms of that championship match you had with Chevs. Like, when you think of that and how that's been in terms of like, it seems very rare that you have especially in indie wrestling, a storyline where these two opponents can battle over years, and for each one to just get incrementally better and better. And
it's frankly, as a wrestler, sickening to see how good both of those two are and how they continue just to keep getting better when they're in each other. They say iron sharpens iron, and that isn't actually true, but these two do make each other better. So I actually said this to Kanji at the last Resurgence show. I said, why are you not famous yet? Because she's an extraordinary talent. She is fantastic in the ring. And again, I can't say anything greater than I already have done about Chevs. She is one of the best performers going. And yeah, 2020, where we had our match where she beat me for the championship at Resurgence. Hell of a match. Like, she's a hell of a competitor. And that was, 5 years ago? And she's only gotten just leagues better. It's incredible.
Yeah. I feel like Kanji, for like, if you hopefully, fingers crossed, win the North title at the Walker Dome, I feel like you winning that and Kanji winning the Resurgence title would be these two real, very similar rises. Because again, like when I said, like, I think of a couple of other wrestlers who are like that perennial underdog. For so long for me, that was Kanji.
Yeah.
Always the underdog. And this year, this last 12 months, I feel like she's broken out of that. She's like, no,
Absolutely. You watch her matches with like Mercedes Moné and stuff like that. Kanji's a star. She is not an underdog. She is someone who will mess you up.
Yeah.
Like, shorter in stature, sure. She's, doesn't mean she can't absolutely murder someone.
Exactly. The cat, all right.
She's just meowing at me. She wants attention.
Oh.
What?
She can come on if she wants. We have a lot of pets on the show. So.
Hell yeah. Well, you just told me to bury people, and then I've just been very complimentary about two people.
I was gonna say we'll bring it back to the burying. Because I think that was lovely. But that's again, it's not on topic for the dish in the dirt. The next one I always say is akin to like who you travel with normally, because it's who has the worst music taste.
Who has the worst music taste? Maybe me again. Will Kroos his music genres vary, and sometimes it can be good, and sometimes it can be noise.
That's the one we normally get a lot of. Is like when it's a mixed bag. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, mixed bags, pretty rotten. Basically, just anyone who will only listen to pop punk, I will try to drive us into a central reservation at full speed.
This is so weird because we've had a few people hate on pop punk, and for me, pop punk is fine.
But when you get people singing like this, oh please, could you not?
I think that was great. This could be the Gene Money, the damn dirty dog pop punk band. This is it.
Oh God, no. Let's not give people more of this. They've got too much of this already.
I was going to say, well, the reason I said it is just because like we've had a few people hate on pop punk, and it feels like a genre. It's really like it's really akin to wrestling. It's really fits wrestling well, and it's so many people.
I think the thing with pop punk is it can be very diversive because you can get those people who like it, and I can understand it. Like, I used to have a big emo friend once upon a time when I was a wee lad. But then again, there's people with good music taste, and I tend to go with them.
Yeah, sure, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
brilliant. The next one is the next one's my favorite on the list. It's who would you, under no circumstances, let a family member date?
Doris.
For the reason of?
I'd have to spend more time with Doris.
That's fair. I can't think of a better reason than that.
I don't know. Who else?
I mean, it's a good reason. Do you think like he'd do that in like a family reunion? Like he's dating one of your family members, you've got a family reunion, he comes in like with one of your family on his arm, but he's still doing the rap. Like he's still doing the...
Yeah, I have a feeling he would come, he would be like, oh, we're going for a big family dinner, it'll be really nice, everyone's dressed up, and then you'll just say, boom, 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 boom. And just hear from the toilet, mic check, yeah. No, maybe I'm just saying Doris for comedic effect. I think like, I don't know. I don't want to spend any more time with Simon Miller either.
You did sound that would be a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. God, that's a good question. What have other people said?
No one said you. I can tell you that for sure.
Hell yeah.
I'll
damn your mum. I'll treat her nice.
I can't remember exactly who's been said. A few people have been said a lot. Jordan Saeed's been said a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I get that.
We've also had people be like, not this person because they're like people are too close to them, you know what I mean? In terms of like, then it's just awkward in that way.
Yeah, no, I can understand that 100%. I'm just trying to think of roster members on it. Maybe Nathan Black as well. The amount of times I have to hear, look at the goddamn size of me. And I don't want to hear that any more than
You definitely don't want to hear that when it's around a family member as well.
Oh, God, no. Walking into a room and that's what you can hear. Jesus Christ.
Amazing. Really well. The next one is another one, actually. I'll be interested to see if you have anything to top, because it's another one that Jordan Saeed has been, I think, said for the most, this one.
Wow.
And you'll see why in a second, because it's outside of the ring. Who has the worst dress sense?
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I know Jordan, but I don't know him well enough to comment on his dress sense. Is it Nathan Black again? Or is it Will Kroos because he's just in a black hoodie repeatedly? God, who is this? Is it me? No.
Well, we've had people say you, but we've had people say you because it's like the style that only you can pull off.
Oh, and yeah, absolutely. I've gone. There was a time when I'd be buying something and the wife is going, "Is this for Gene Munny? Is this for you?" And it's like, it's all the same now. Yeah, no, maybe it is me. Maybe it is me. I was wearing this headband long before we had this call today. This isn't a gimmick. This was just to keep me fringe out my eyes. Yeah, maybe it is me. Maybe it is Nathan Black.
What's Nathan? You mentioned Will and the black hoodie, but what is
Nathan? Has kind of got this. He looks like if the 80s designed the future. He's in designer stuff, and he looks like, yeah, what the 80s thought the future would look like, but he's got Elvis hair. It's wonderful. Yeah. But then again, I think it might be me.
Let's say both.
Let's say both. Hell yeah.
Both. Yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I
think Shreddy said me, didn't he?
Shreddy might have said you, yeah.
I remember getting tagged in something. I was like, Shreddy can't comment on how I look. He looks like chicken shawarma rotating on a spit, man. Like, can't be doing that to me.
It's always those people, isn't it? It's always the ones like you never expect to W in.
Oh, absolutely. Saying that, I was bald with one tuft of hair. I can understand. I looked like an absolute mess.
The hair has grown out a bit. The hair has grown out a bit.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Are you going to be styling it for Thunderdome?
Well, you know what?
Thunderdome.
Yeah, we'll just call it Thunderdome at the Walker Stroke.
Yes.
Yeah, man, maybe. Yeah, I've got some ideas in mind.
Yeah.
Some ideas in mind, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Like it. The next one isn't quite. The next one's back to the nicer end of things because it's it's sort of on the opposite end of the worst dress sense. So, Gene Munny, we all know that you've got an eclectic in-ring look that very few other people, if anyone, could pull off.
How dare you? How dare you be so accurate on a podcast?
But here's the key thing: you've forgotten your gear for a show. You're at a show. Got one of
This has happened before.
Well, this is it. This is where you get the dream scenario of you got to go back to the locker room and wear someone else's gear. But we're talking one size fits all. You can pick whoever you want. Whose gear do you look at and you're like, I could pull that off?
Oh, that's a lovely question, isn't it? So I don't want anything boring. So trunks are out the question. Liam Slater's PE kit's out the question. I've had my singlet phase. Don't feel like doing that anymore. So let's get rid of all your Simon Millers and the type. I don't know. Like, I think women have better gear in wrestling. I mean, they're very similar, most of them, because, you've got to cover everything and, it's very whatever. But I'm going to say, I'm going to say Nina Samuels.
Yeah, Nina is
with a tiny hat.
Yeah, the tiny hat is a vibe, isn't it? It's just.
Yeah, I've never had pink gear before. I think I would flourish in that. But yeah, the pink, the hat, the cut. Oh yeah, if that fit me, my goodness, I would never go back to my ginormous trousers.
Oh yeah, I think I was going to say I think we need the crossover match where you borrow each other's gear, but I'm not sure how Nina would feel.
Or just with a giant pair of trousers and an X's over her tits. I can't imagine she'd be vibing on it if I'm honest.
I can't believe she'd be too happy with it.
No, most likely not.
Not because of the dress, to be honest. More so because she'd see how you look in her gear and she'd be fuming because you'd be like putting it off.
I'd be fuming, like looking at me and going, "Oh my god, I've worked so hard for this look, and Gene Munny's absolutely excelled in it." It's absolutely. I can imagine me and anybody's in gear would be an insult either way, and I'd vibe on it. Yeah. No, yeah, probably Nina Samuels. Tiny hat. Definitely tiny hat.
Yes.
Sorry, that I do like Tate Mayfair's trousers. That he looks like he's pulled from a Weatherspoon's floor. They look great.
Yeah.
But right now, my God, I love my tall trousers.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You pull it off well. Like,
I've had my phases. I had my biker phase, then I had my trunk phase. Then it was the single arm. That was the big boy pants. Then it was the single arm singlet. And like, I just finished training a few months ago, and I was wearing my kickboxing gear, and I just pulled them up as high as they went. I said, "That's my new look. That is my new look." And Josh, the guy who made it for me, Reap What You Sow, he got the thing just right. I do look a bit more Pirate Santa than I'd hoped to, but it's a good fit. It's a good vibe. Everyone's looking at that going, those trousers are too high. I can get them above my shoulders if I wanted to, but then how would I use my arms?
yeah, no, I love it. I was gonna say, I'm sure looks through the years are sort of like children, where it's tough to pick a favorite. But like, is there one that's significantly more comfortable than the rest?
So there was one time I used to wear 7 pairs of trunks at once. That was an incredible journey. Just for shenanigans. If anybody ever pants me, they'd have to do it 6 more times. That was a great fit, but you did lose circulation in your legs. The one-arm singlet was a good vibe. I really enjoyed that, but yeah, I'm in my massive trouser era right now, and the more I look into the past, the more I'm like, well, that's behind me. That's behind me. This is a giant trouser future.
And you're owning it. You're the revolutionary of it.
Tell me somebody else with as tall trousers as me.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
There's like, I'm pretty sure there's like, granddads that wear their trousers really high.
Granddad's dream of the height I pull mine up.
It's a whole other level. Like,
oh, absolutely. They would break their hips before they got them half as high. I'm an innovator.
You are. When everyone's wearing tall trousers in like a year or so, they're going to look back on this and be like, that was keen money.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
It's, I'm going to do for ginormous trousers what Will Ospreay did for them tiny little flags that some people have on their tights.
Yes.
Oh, everyone just had them. And that little bit of like the shoelacy thing at the top of tights as well. Don't know why that was a thing, but then everyone started having them. Crazy.
Listen, I'll tell you what, you imagine the scenes when, I think they said it was going to be next year, but when All In is back at Wembley in 2026, and Will Ospreay comes out with the tall trousers, and he's like, I want to dedicate this to Gene Money.
As somebody who used to train with Will once upon a time back at London School Lucha Libre, I can tell you, never going to happen, baby.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, that was a great tangent. That was fantastic. That was brilliant. But I think, to be honest, the last couple of questions aren't so much as they are a bit kinder, but the next one is, well, I'll change this one for you if you want to dish a bit more dirt.
Yeah.
Because this one is normally who would throw the best party in the locker room. So, Gene Money, I'll ask you, who would throw the worst party in the locker room?
Who would throw the worst party in the locker room? Charles Crowley.
Yeah?
I'd just be scared to touch anything, you know? It's, you wouldn't know where anything had been.
That's fair.
Yeah. And like, you know what? I'm not against it or anything like that, but I just, each to their own, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Charles Crowley said, do you want to come around to a party at mine? I would be like, I am married, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I'm happily content in my relationship situation. Thank you for the invite to your party, Crowley. But I don't want to wake up with a rash.
Yeah. And it's a strong right that you could, isn't it? So I think, yeah, that's fair.
I don't know where that man's been.
Yeah.
I don't know why everything is disgusting to touch in this house. What is happening? No, thank you. No Crowley party for me.
No, I get that. It makes sense. The final one then is another key one. It's another very important one because it really is. It's going to save your life. This Vicky,
hell yeah.
who would you choose to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse?
Who would I choose to be my partner in the zombie apocalypse? God, you're going to have to cut out this silence, I tell you.
It's all right. We have plenty of thinking time. It's
I mean, as much as I don't like him, probably Will Kroos. No one's going to mess with Will Kroos. I mean, he's probably not as quick as some, but he's probably slower than me. So, I mean, I can always outrun him. But who's going to mess with Will? Like, someone would try to fight him and he would just launch them.
yeah, powerhouse.
Oh, my God. Like, no, if you don't know about Will's rugby background, it is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we've tried to tackle this man and someone just injured themselves trying and he did not move. Like, Will is a block of a man. He is built like a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's a great choice. It's like you say, because you've got the power and you've also got the option that you can run faster than him if not. And then
absolutely.
the win-win.
Yeah.
The win-win.
Well, self-preservation and more self-preservation, but bad.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. I love it. Well, that brings
If it's going to be apocalypse, I lost my morals long ago.
Yeah. It's
The
all
fact
gone
I've
now.
survived this long is wild. I will throw anyone under the bus at this point.
And to be honest, I wouldn't blame you because that's what you've got to look after yourself in a zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like in wrestling. There's no real friends in wrestling. You know, everyone's you got to do.
You know what? Dan Maloney,
Another good one. He's
Driller in a zombie apocalypse would be king of the wasteland.
And I'm not going to lie, the point of going with Dan might be the fact that he doesn't have a vendetta against you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, I'd say so. The thing with Dan is the zombies would run away.
Yeah.
Dan is an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. King of the wasteland.
Yeah. The problem is you couldn't then run away if things got bad. If things like
Yeah, but a king needs a jester, you know?
That's true. He needs entertainment, right?
Yeah, that chip on my shoulder about being a commoner wrestler flies straight away. No chip at all. No chip at all.
Incredible. Well, I mean, the leading on from that feature, you sort of led it on brilliantly because you said who's going to mess with Will Kroos, but you're going to mess.
I'm going to mess with Will Kroos, and I can mess with Will Kroos. I've had 2 matches with Will in the past, and I've beat him in both. Like, don't get me wrong, big man. Big man. You know what they say about big? The bigger they are, the harder I will lariat them in their fucking teeth.
That is I think people always get that saying wrong. They always
get that saying wrong.
Yeah.
It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about how hard Gene Money's going to lariat you in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
All of these phrases people have been telling you wrong all my life.
Like, they're all involving lariats. That's the thing. But people cut the lariats out. The lariat gets no respect.
I know, right? Frankly, it's insulting.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's the thing. Like, I mean, talk to me about you and Will Kroos. Again, like, because that seemed to all be going so well. It seemed to all be so...
Well, that's it. Will Kroos was unwanted. Will Kroos was abandoned. And Will Kroos went to Progress once upon a time, and I fought tooth and nail to get in there into the Atlas Championship tournament, and he got a "please come back" chant. And they never brought him back. And I pushed for him. And I pushed for him. And then eventually, I find out the night before I'm supposed to be teaming with Martina that she's gone and got injured. So who's the first person I tell him to get? Will Kroos. Of course it is. And somehow we've got dynamics and we've got magic in the ring. We win some matches. And then he starts mucking up. And then he starts mucking up. And then tries to give him a bit of tough love. What's he do? Turns his back on me. And then somehow, despite not getting a singles victory in that company, he's put into strong style. A tournament, frankly, synonymous with me. And I found that massively insulting. So I hit him in the head really hard. And then he hit me in the head really hard. And then we're going to have what they call in wrestling a blow-off match, where we'll both hit each other in the head really hard.
But you'll hit harder.
Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, I'm his uncle. He's just a nephew. That's like a whole Pokemon evolution beneath that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like Will. There's no doubting him. He's an incredible talent, but like I'm not letting someone I've opened the door for in progress use my name to build a career for himself. I refuse to let that happen.
it's fair.
Yeah. I would rather not be able to walk out of the ring than have that happen.
And then you will have beaten the guy who has, like you say, fought off the zombie apocalypse. Like,
Hell yeah. I'll be up there cheering with Dan Maloney. It's fine.
just watch you be like, he's running away. You're like, aha.
Yeah, suck it, nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Will, I can't take anything away from him. There's a reason I wanted him at Progress for so long. But if that comes at the expense of my name in Progress, no, not a chance. I will fight with everything I've got to put that fat head into the floor.
There. No, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. More power to you. Absolutely. And good luck for it. Because I'm sure it'll be a no-brainer that you're going to win, but you still need a bit of luck. You know, all wrestling's always about a bit of luck. So sure, yeah, for it. But I mean, before we wrap up, I also want to talk to you about what you mentioned earlier, about something you mentioned earlier while we were talking about North, and that is Pursuit Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Because for all the bad of Liam Slater trying to keep you from the North title and, you know, trying to keep it on Leon or even for himself, he seems to be running a pretty good training school that seems to be one of, like you said, the best in the country, if not Europe, if not the world.
PPW is an incredible place to train. Absolutely. Not only have they got Liam as a trainer, they have Lycos 2 as a trainer now as well. Phenomenal talent. Just look at the people they're pumping out at the moment. You're seeing people like Kemper and Jet Marshall going everywhere at the moment. Obviously, Lycos too. Leon Slater is a phenomenal talent. He's generational talent. He's not 1 in a million. He's 1 in 8 billion. There is nobody like him. But he's been able to refine what he is at PPW. It's an incredible place to go. Like, since even Will Kroos started training there, look at where he's doing. Look at where he is. He's in Noah at the moment. Like, it's a phenomenal place to create phenomenal opportunities for yourself to learn to wrestle, to improve on your skills. Right, regardless of what I think of Liam Slater, it is a phenomenal training school. And if you are in the area and you want to find out what wrestling's all about, that is the place to go. It's got a gym. It's got an arcade. It's got a wrestling ring.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about the arcade, but that sounds dangerous. That sounds then you could spend far too much time there.
Yeah, it's got like it's got like a retro arcade machine with all the bits built in. It's got an N64. Someone's always playing No Mercy or something. It's good vibes, man. Like it feels like a social club, and also you can learn how to become a wrestler.
Yeah, and it feels like from again, like what people have said about Pursuit, but what I've heard about a lot of other training schools is like the ones that are the best are the ones where it feels like that. The ones where it's not just about you come in, you train, you go. The ones where there's that extra, I feel like family sounds cheesy, but you know what I mean? That extra social aspect where you can hang out, where you can like see people and just chat, and like aside from just turning up to training and going home.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It offers that. Like I think in wrestling, having a white belt mentality is key to success in any capacity. Always learning where you can. So I've been fortunate enough to train so many different wrestling schools across the country. And there's just something special about Pursuit that I don't think anyone's been able to replicate since. It's wonderful.
No, I love that. I love that. Well, Gene, it's been great having you on the show. We're just wrapping up recording now. We've got a couple of little questions left. The first is going to be more quickfire than the last one, and it's going to be because I'm going to get you, Gene Munny, to build your dream indie wrestler. Okay. So we're still talking Brit Rest. I'm going to give you some categories, and I want you to pick one wrestler for each. So you're not allowed to double up on wrestlers.
Okay.
And you got to pick one wrestler for each segment, like you know on the WWE games, you know you have your stats card like that.
You got it.
So the first one is strength.
Let's go Adam Maxted.
Nice, it's a good choice. Speed.
Callum Newman. Well, he's not indies anymore.
We'll count it. He's a Tolkien. He's in here. I'll let you have that because Callum is great. Yeah, let's have that. The next one is a finisher.
Maloney, driller.
Nice. Yeah. Next one is a charisma.
Me.
Yes, no one does it better. And the final one is entrance.
Coroner.
Oh, what a wrestler that is.
Hell yeah. God, I always wanted to, I always pitched to be Carbonara Noir and just come out as a version of him just with bacon lardons covered in me.
I tell you what, if anyone from Resurgence is watching this, it might be time to open the Moneyverse again.
Maybe they need Carbonara Noir.
Carbonara Noir. Oh, yeah. A little side of like garlic bread.
Yeah, there you go. Fantastic.
Beautiful. Well, that does bring us nearly to the end of our chat. And Gene Money, I just have one final question for you. But unlike the others, this isn't a question that I've thought of because we have a closing feature here on the podcast where our last guest leaves a question for our next guest without any context of who they're going to be leaving it for.
Yeah.
This person didn't know they were leaving you a question. You're not allowed to know who left you the question. It's all very out of context and weird. So this is a great one. I think you'll have fun with this one. The question you've been left is, if you could force any wrestler to do their original gimmick for the rest of their career, who would it be?
Oh, God. If I could force someone to do their original gimmick, Kyle Fletcher's was pretty bad. I think Cara Noir.
Yeah.
I would want him to be black belt Tom Dawkins again, because just the Schadenfreude alone of it would be hilarious. He would not enjoy that in any capacity. And the only entertaining factor of it is how not entertained Tom would be by doing that. I think that'd be great. Who else? Like, maybe Like Us too, because then he'd have to lose a mask. Yeah, maybe me. Maybe I'd have to be Johnny Lavella Squire again.
That's a throwback. That is
Johnny Lavella Squire, not just a class act, but an upper class act. Yeah, dog shit. Yeah. Let's go Like Us too, so we'd have to lose the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You were just annoying.
I forgot he even had a mask. I thought that was just him.
I forgot he had a face.
When you said him about training, I was like, how is he training it? Like, how is he one of the coaches of Pursuit? Because I swear he's still only like 15 or something.
He's young and he's getting heat stroke constantly wearing that thing.
But you're doing him a favor by taking the mask off.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Beautiful. I think that is a wonderful way to end the recording. Gene Money, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you need my question or are we doing this off air?
Oh, yeah, we'll do that off air.
All right. You're not going to find out, listeners. You're going to have to stay tuned.
And the fact is that this is all being like released out of sync. So even if they watch it, they're not going to know that it was you that was the last question because it's all very out of sync the way I'm releasing these next ones that I've got in the bag. So
my plug.
That's the thing.
I released that out of a sync.
That's what I was coming on to. That is our final word always going to.
That deserved much better of a laugh.
I'm sorry, I lost it.
Oh,
I'll be honest, I didn't get it. I didn't click with it. I'm sorry.
Well, you said it was out of sync, and I said my plug. Yeah.
No,
I had a feeling we were going into plugs, and plugs usually come out of syncs.
Do they?
They traditionally do.
Yeah, but a lot of syncs now have the plug where it's like it doesn't come out. You know what I mean? It's sort of like lift.
Well, la-dee-da with your kinetic response release plugs. See how the other half live here, grapple theory.
Have I outed myself here as too upper class? This is it.
That's it. It's all foliage and plugs.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. I've stopped being a man of the people. I was the people. And now it's just this. And now the only listeners I'll have are Tate Mayfairs and Spike Trevay. But that does bring us on to our close. While giving our guests the final word, Gene Money. For anyone who comes to see Gene Money on a show, well, first of all, why is the Dan Dirty Dog going to steal the show? But also, why is the Dan Dirty Dog going to be walking away from the Walker Dome on July the 12th as the North Wrestling Champion.
I know it's smelly to say anyone deserves anything in this industry, but I deserve this. And it's not to say I deserve it more than Leon because they are sensational talents, but what I've done, how I've changed to get to this championship opportunity, this is my moment. And if not now, then when? I am going to walk into the Walker Dome looking, sounding, and wrestling like nobody else on the card will. And I will be leaving the Walker Dome the exact same way, but I will have something to hold my ginormous trousers up with.